Hey, y'all, guess what time it is? It's the Grolic Saves the World time.
All right, the Grolic saves the world.
That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're getting fixed, our worries are nixed. Let's have some cake while the Grolic saves the world. We're getting fixed, our worries are nixed. Let's have some cake while the Grolic saves the world. We're getting fixed, our worries are nixed. Let's have some cake while the Grolic saves the world.
A tranquil snow falls outside the Grolix's window, and perhaps in your heart as you listen to this very special episode of The Grolic Saves the World. I'm Adam Caton Holland.
My name is Ben Roy.
And I'm Andrew Orvidal.
Wow.
And we're using our NPR indoor voices. We're taking it down a peg. We come at you generally with high intensity, high energy to try to shock you into listening, but we know sometimes your intellect needs tending to as well.
Fuck yeah! It's fucking snowing out. I can't wait to head up to the hill and fucking gnar it out, bro.
Ben, I've been told you have a challenge. I'm getting in my ear that a feed from producer Ron.
Yeah, I do have a challenge.
Okay.
This is a podcast where we better ourselves and hopefully better the world around us by taking on passive-aggressive self-help challenges and things we think that better us as individuals and by proxy the world at large. And I have an idea because I feel like Adam has been attacking me lately.
I have not. I attack everyone. I'm a fair attacker.
And we both attack you constantly. So feeling correct.
No, Adam has it. He's had it out for me for a while. He seems to enjoy my nervousness. The blood
Can
challenge.
I tell you something?
Yeah.
It's just, you're such a hot dog most of the time.
Okay.
You peacock
Ever
around
since he
this
won that ski
podcast.
competition, he's just
Ever
been
since he won the
strutting
Grolix downhill
around.
ski competition, you've been a hot dog. You've been peacocking, and so I'm also consider myself a bit of an alpha. And so you come in with your chest puffed out. I'm gonna take a swing. I'm gonna try to knock you down a peg or two.
I get
and
it.
If I'm successful at it, what's that say about you as an
I
alpha?
get it. It hit the biggest guy on the yard. I get it.
Yep.
You know? And,
Yep.
and when you say it
Yep.
like that, I don't feel as bad about it because you are right. I am a fucking alpha. But,
You're such a fucking alpha,
dude, I am such an
I'm
alpha.
jealous of you, and I think you're very cool.
Is that true? God, I know that's not true at all. And I think
He made it sound pretty cool.
I am about ready to leave out of town to go on tour with my band Spells. And so I needed a
match.
challenge that I could do while I was gone and on the road that we could all do. It has been a while since we have done a Grolix book challenge.
Ooh.
Okay. And last time we did this, and the only time, we, of course, did Twilight, which is everybody loves. And
We had to borrow a copy from the Library of Congress because you couldn't find it anywhere.
It's historically relevant, right? And what a grand piece of shit that was.
Yeah, we read Twilight. It was a fiasco.
But I thought, well, there are classics out there that are considered greatest novels of all time. And Adam is very well read. So is Andrew. You both have read a lot of books.
Andrew's read comic books.
Yeah, I've read a lot of comic books. I am woefully behind on classics. I'm more of a horror, sci-fi, fantasy reader, not a big classics. Clearly. I mean, you know me.
Neither have I. I've been going back trying to hit some of the ones they say you should read. Adam's a tough one. You've read a lot of the classics. We had talked about it before. You've read Moby Dick, right?
I was not a defiant student. I was a very ideal student. You gave me the book assignment. I read it, and I was not cool enough to be like, fuck this, I'm finding my own stuff. I just read anything that was dropped on my desk. I read everything in school from
And there's
from
also
day
the
one.
fact that you went to school.
Yeah.
Just over that.
while going to school.
Yeah, I not only
read
skipped
what
the
was
book, I
assigned.
also skipped the class. I didn't even know what we were reading.
Yes, see, I'm with Andrew. If you just didn't go to school, there was no books to miss.
A separate piece out of here. Bye, bitch.
Oh, wow. John Knowles. I went to school. Call me just a fucking automaton. Call me a peg in the machine, boys. I went to school.
What a
and I
dork.
read the
Fucking
assignments.
dork. You
What a
fucking dork. Now look at
What a
Andrew and
dork.
I'm living in a room. Andrew has a cabin. It's all coming up aces for us. So I bet you wish you had made different choices, Adam.
Nah, we all wound up at the same place. We just squandered our money differently.
So, we sat around one time. I grilled you on a bunch of books, and you were like, "Yeah, I've read that."
Oh, one of Ben's famous book grilling sessions.
Yeah, I got book grilled. It was a short-lived Discovery Channel show where Ben just book grilled you.
Just hammering
Did
titles
you notice
out.
too? I only dropped Moby Dick. That's
I
like
know, that's the only classic you mentioned. I was waiting for the list, but
Ben, what are some of these other classics that I supposedly have read?
Ben, name 5 classic novels.
Didn't you say you had read Anna Karenina?
Yes, I did.
Yes. And then you had said you had read
You can't do it, Ben, can you? You're
5.
at 2,
5.
and you're
what
struggling.
was the other one that I just
It's a
asked
rope
you
ladder, and
about?
his feet are hanging off.
But my toes are in the water. And
It's a
I'm
rope
enjoying
ladder on
it.
a helicopter, and it's like taking off, and it's like,
It's
uh-oh,
taking off.
No,
uh-oh.
what was the other one that I?
And irate locals are pulling at his legs.
I thought you had said you hadn't read
This
Warren-
missionary trip has gone south for him.
So fast. So fast.
I thought you had said you hadn't read War and Peace.
I have read War and
Okay,
Peace.
so that was
I had
one
a
that I
Russian
had asked you
college.
about.
I had a big Russian novel phase.
That's 3.
Not PC currently, although I do not.
Yeah,
blame
dude, you need to
Dostoevsky for what's
forget
going on.
those. You need to show these Russians and fucking forget those.
Forget those. The
You
way
gotta
you're-
forget them.
You had read the Iliad in school. We had talked about that.
Yes, in fucking middle school.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So
Yeah,
we-
Yeah, I remember that one in
class.
high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we read it in class, but so we had
Okay,
talked
that's 4.
about.
One more.
Oh, I have to come up.
You're not getting away with it.
What was the other one that we were just talking about? That David Copperfield.
Yes, I've read David Copperfield.
You read The Great Gatsby. That was it. The Great Gatsby, David Copperfield. You've read all of these books.
Better fucking believe it, bro.
So I found one that I know you haven't read, and a book that is considered a classic, one of the greatest books of all time, but most people have not read it because it is profoundly difficult to read.
Dean Koontz's Watchers, and the movie is
Andrew,
better, but
we are not
God,
doing
sorry.
the Watchers. You keep trying to do that. Nor are we doing the novelization of Die Hard.
God
which you
damn
brought
it.
up 3 which is AKA Yippee-ki-yay motherfucker is how it's called on a
all right,
paperback.
on Goodreads.
What is this
Yeah.
book? Drum roll.
Yeah, what the
Give
On
me
some
the
books.
Here it is, the drum roll. The book is Ulysses by James Joyce.
You motherfucker. Are you kidding me? Do you know about this book? Do you have any
No.
idea what you're wading into?
No, I
don't.
don't know about this book, but I do know it's 723 pages of what a man at Tattered Cover Bookstore, the cashier said is unfinishable crap.
Wow.
He said
Wow.
he's never known anybody who's ever finished this book.
As you're buying it, he's telling
As
you
I'm
this.
purchasing this book, the man said it is. He's never known a single person who's finished this novel, and it is.
Wow.
You're such an asshole, Ben. Are you thinking that you're going to finish this book in 1 week? In 1 week.
Ben reads quickly. We've established this. Ben has done this like 52 books in a year challenge.
This is not a quick read. This is like famously stream of consciousness, indecipherable, in and out of different languages, including Gaelic. They teach college courses on fucking Ulysses so a professional can hold your hand through it. This is not just reading. Like this
Dude,
is so
we
hard.
are-
I tried to
God.
read it. I was so lost after 5 pages.
Since-
This is 15 years ago. and I like
look
James
at the
Joyce.
The Prince of Wesleyan is can't read a book.
Yeah, now you've got look at
Lin-Manuel Miranda is the Prince of Wesley, and I'll be goddamned if you will assign me that title. I will have my fucking degree revoked for speaking poorly of Lin in such a way.
There are more people who've read books about Ulysses than read the book itself.
You've managed to get Adam into the body posture that we usually reserve for you, Ben, where he's he's really
everything.
kind of squared up. He clearly
I'm sweating.
He's unhappy.
I'm nervous. I'm checking social media, sort of haphazard fashion.
Well, this is a good challenge.
This is what I'm dubbing, hashtagging it, the Ulysses Challenge.
And boy, is it going to take off.
Is it, Percy?
Yeah, this is the new Tide Pod, dudes.
It is.
You're going to have TikTokers, all these 14-year-old
Listen,
TikTokers just running the bookstores.
Ass deep in a 720-page Irish novel.
So this is what we're going to do. It's 7 days to finish
Oh, my God.
Ulysses. If you
And you think you're going to do this on a tour bus, you dumb piece of shit, with a band in your ear?
Dude,
no way.
I think it's going to be great. I think it's hilarious, and I love that you don't like it. And that's probably the biggest selling point for me.
I don't like it. I mean, yes, you're right. I don't like it. I tried to read it. I couldn't fucking understand a word. And I thought if I ever attempt this, it would be like when the boys are older and I take like a class at the community college on Ulysses or something. I have no... I don't like this one.
Even Ron Doyle, producer Ron, who is a very intelligent, well-read person himself, is stroking his brow at the idea of reading this book. And I think Ron should join us. And I think if people are listening, you should try
No
this.
one's listening. No one's listening. What do you think this is?
This is an echo chamber.
I do think it'll make us better people if you can proudly say, I read Ulysses. I am a well-read man.
Realistically, the odds of us doing this might be low. So let me add a sub-challenge.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
So that whoever reads to the lowest page count gets punished. If you don't,
Okay.
if none of us finish it, okay, none of us finished it. It was too robust. But you still got to race your ass off, because if you get to the lowest page count, there's going to be some punishment for you.
I love it.
I got it. You have to fly to Ireland, wear a sign around your neck, right in Dublin along the Liffey, that says, I couldn't finish Ulysses because I'm a fucking dullard.
Yeah.
Kick me in the dick for a day. Just in a
Speaking
public
of Die
thoroughfare.
Hard, this is like the beginning of Die Hard with a Vengeance.
No,
Great
I
reference.
think-
Fly to Ireland, get your ridicule.
I think an appropriate punishment would be that if you don't read this, you do have to read the second book in the Twilight series.
None of us are gonna finish this. I'm calling it now.
No,
If you read
lowest
Ulysses
page
and
count-
then the sequel to Twilight, you will have a seizure. That's not healthy to do. That's
You
not
can't
your
you
brain-
can't go from fifth gear to reverse on the highway. It's fucked up.
Listen, this is clearly an important book. They teach it. They teach entire courses about it in college. And
You only know that because I said that.
yeah, I know. But you gave it up. And listen.
And this is how it
James-
works when you don't go to college. You have to adapt that quickly to new knowledge and owning it like it's yours, so you can present yourself as being
That
smart.
was masterfully done, Ben. that
Thank
was
you.
masterfully done.
And thank you. And I did read Dubliners and I liked it. So I'm shocked that a book by the same author could be this bad. It can't be that bad. It's a book. And they're words.
Andrew, do you remember last year when Ben would do a book a week and he'd do these Instagram posts
Yeah.
about, like, here's what I thought of the
Hey,
book.
52 books
And
in a year.
and
He cranked them out.
He cranked out books, and almost as if somewhere along the line, someone said to Ben, there's no way you can read. And Ben had to, like, shove it down their
Yeah.
throat that he can read. And now he's defensively... I know he's offensively throwing books at me to try to take me down a peg, which is an alpha move, like I said. He's like, "Oh, you're so smart. Here's the heaviest book I got," and he's thrown it at my head.
You guys just two alphas in the yard, and
nipping at each other's
this-
napes, bruh.
this dog
Getting
care
right-
center needs to sort it out, because it's not healthy for
No,
the event.
let us go at it. By the end of the episode, we'll be playing together like friends.
Dude, I love this. So we have the challenge set, and fuck all, I guarantee you the caption for this is not drawing in the crowds. But this is going to be a fun one. We have to.
Hey, I'm going to be in my bed at night reading Ulysses. You're going to be on the fucking road in a sweaty van with bandmates
You think you're
going to
read
ear.
more of this? Your problem is, Adam, you retain what you read. I retain none of it.
Oh, you're just like turning the page, like num 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 num.
Boy, well, wait till you get into Ulysses. You've never seen an example of their just words like this.
Wow. Well, I am excited to see who gets the highest page count.
Yeah.
And we'll finally be able to
Whoever-
crown a Grolix Alpha. Whoever can turn in the highest page count on Ulysses is the Grolix Alpha.
Right. Lowest page count punishment has to read the second installment in the Twilight series. We will have the book sent to your house.
Holy shit.
If that
the
happens to
next-
me,
What a
I will cut
fucking
out my
weird
eyes
challenge.
on Patreon. So I hope it's not me.
And thus was born the Ulysses challenge.
The Ulysses challenge. 7
All right.
days.
Well,
All
let's take a
right.
break so we can get to fucking reading. God, I hate
Dude,
this podcast.
podcast sucks sometimes.
This podcast really sucks.
That
This is a bad
makes
podcast.
a good. It does make you a better person to read the classics.
You
There's
shut the
no
fuck up,
question.
Ben, and just take us to
This is
the
the guy
comic.
who's never read a
Just take us to the
Okay, why
comic.
don't we do
Take us
this?
to
All
the
this stuff
comic.
is of some fucking canceled anthropologist.
Hey, listen. The other part about this book, and remember, was that it was banned for a long time because by obscenity laws. This is an important novel. I mean, it pushed obscenity laws.
It's consistently ranked the best novel of all time on tons of lists.
Yes.
However, you need a professional, but we're gonna try it.
We're going to
It's
try
just
it
some
anyway.
amateurs.
So here's
All right,
what we're going
let's
to
do
do.
it.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to listen to some live stand-up comedy. Our live show the last Saturday of every month at the world-famous Bug Theater in the Highlands of Denver. And what a comic we have. You're going to love them. Please enjoy Hannah Jones. And when we return, the Ulysses Challenge. I will have completed it. Adam and Andrew will have failed. Stay tuned.
I tell a lot of jokes about dating, and I tell jokes about men that I date, and I've realized that it gives the impression that I hate men, you know that, and sort of the general vibe, and just everything about the way I present myself implies that, and I want you to know that that's actually not true, okay? Because I've been fortunate enough to have a number of incredible men in my life who I love very deeply. I love men. I love your culture. I do. I eat at Buffalo Wild Wings all the time. Yes. Happy Super Bowl. Happy Super Bowl. Happy Super Bowl. No, it's true. I love men. I don't always know what you guys want. I don't always understand it. It seems inconsistent. It's like guys like being called daddy. They don't like being called papa. So, I thought we were heightening. My friend, she's very good at sex, at men, you know? And she gave me a tip. She said that guys like it when you pretend to choke a little. Just like, oh, it's so big. Turns out they don't like it when you pretend to choke a lot. Just water, I need water. It's so big. Mom, is that you? I see a light. It's so big.
Get out of the trenches of tedious tasks like managing order fulfillment and start growing your business with ShipStation. They'll help increase profitability by automating your workflow with their simple, easy-to-use dashboard. With it, you can pretty much do everything you need to quickly and easily. Update order information, print labels, compare rates, optimize shipments, and even set up automatic delivery notifications. And it doesn't matter where you sell. Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Shopify, ShipStation can integrate pretty much anywhere online. Another great thing about ShipStation? They can help reduce costs with industry-leading discounted rates from some of the biggest mail carriers. You might even be able to get up to 89% off USPS and UPS rates. So make this year your most profitable one yet. Sign up for your free 30-day trial at ShipStation.com and use the code Spotify. That's ShipStation.com with the code Spotify.
We are back. Through the magic of podcasting, it is 1 week later, and through the magic of James Joyce's Ulysses, it feels like it's 5 years later.
Yeah, I feel like I've aged a good 15.
I feel aged, I am aged, and I feel aged. But we have attempted the challenge.
Yeah, I gotta say this one backfired in my face real bad.
Uh-oh.
This one, I went after you hot, and then I slipped and fell in the manure.
All of our revenge challenges work out that way.
Revenge is not a good look on any of us.
Yeah.
Revenge.
But let's not stop doing it. Can we agree? Let's not stop doing it.
Never.
No, but it clearly this one. I thought they're just words, but there's so much more than that. They're a narcotic. I didn't see that coming. A powerful narcotic.
It is a dense fog of text.
Yeah. Ask your doctor if Ulysses is right for you. Don't operate heavy machinery or motor vehicles during or after Ulysses.
Yeah, it's
Move over, Lunesta. I've got a replacement. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Is it putting me down? God damn.
Oh my God!
The trank dart of prose.
It was. The idea, just to refresh people on the challenge, was to try to read the book Ulysses by James Joyce, the modernist classic that is considered one of the greatest novels of all time.
If not the greatest novel of all time.
All 700 and some odd pages in 1 week. In 1 week.
In 1 week, as a sort of passive-aggressive attack on me from Ben Roy. Let's
Well,
not.
I wouldn't say so much of an attack as a
Well,
playful kick
It was
behind.
pretty
behind the
specifically a
knees.
shot over the bow.
Yeah,
on Adam.
At the bow. I didn't go over. I took a shot at the old bow.
Well, I'm pretty bow forward, so if you're shooting at me, you're gonna hit the bow. I
didn't realize that what I had done was actually pointed my cannons directly at myself.
At your own deck, like you're scuttling the ship.
Yeah.
Oh, brutal.
But,
you also attempted this challenge while on the road, Ben. You thought, I'll take on this mastodon of a book.
Yeah, well, at the time he was on planes, he was in a van, he had chunks of boring time.
And, there's downtime during the day at the hotel or whatever. Or so I
Nah,
thought.
dude, that's jacking time. You know it.
Well, I like there's no question I like the jail a little bit during the daylight hours.
You dogs.
I like to. Like a dog likes to lift a leg up.
We're kind of like James Joyce, don't you think?
The way we talk,
Don't you think the three of us are like James Joyce?
just like James Joyce.
I've been saying it.
I've been saying it too. Our prose is different.
It's
different.
Spontaneous. It's dense. We definitely don't go to the well of J.O. too often.
No, we don't. We don't. Let me ask this question just right off the bat. Let's just get it out of the way. Did any of you complete the Ulysses challenge by finishing Ulysses by James Joyce in 1 week?
No.
If
No.
you did, say
No.
okay.
No, I did not.
No, I did not either. Producer Ron is aggressively shaking his head. No.
And I think that's very clear. We knew that. I think this was a fool's errand. As I said in the first half, they teach classes on this book.
Yeah.
It is dense. It is an opus. Let's talk motherfucking page count.
Okay.
How far did you get in? Because I also slogged through this. This was hard. And I have two young boys. I read this in bed at the end of the night. Not a time where my brain's ready to attack. It put me to bed so quickly every night.
Okay.
I used a Kindle and it didn't say page count. It just showed me the percent of the book that I had read.
Oh, that's even more troubling.
But I read, not a high percent. I read the first 2 chapters and then I started skimming ahead. I started reading like chunks because I was like, what am I missing with this book? And also I had heard that it was written in different styles and I wanted to read the different styles. I never found any different style. It's written in that style throughout as far as I could tell. But yeah, whatever the page count is of chapters 1 and 2 is what I read.
Okay. So I would say that's probably 50, 60 pages.
All right.
Andrew's all right. I read 77 pages of Ulysses. That's pretty good considering that in the chat dialogue box here, producer Ron has entered in his time count 18 pages. He read 18 pages.
But he was a volunteer on the channel. I'm impressed he made it 18.
He said he read a lot for his work. He keeps trying to offer that in. He said he read an entire other book about podcasting, as if we give a fuck. Okay?
We get it. You can
pages
read.
of Ulysses.
I've been to 77. All right.
And then, Adam, what was yours? What did you get to?
I am at 247. I'm at 247.
Wow. Good work, dude.
Thank you. But I honestly, I don't think I had this faintest clue what's happening for 85 to 90.
Well,
and then I started to realize that I think I have an idea of what's going on here. I still don't think I know what's going on here.
Well, the problem with the book, one, is that it is meant to parallel the Odyssey.
It's like a cover of a song, but in a boring book form.
Yes. I actually was shocked that I did not hate this as bad as I thought I would, but it is extremely dense. And I wouldn't know where the fuck I was.
Right. Like I said, Katie kept asking me, how is it? What's going on? And I'd say, I'm just reading. This is just the exercise of reading. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I'd be like, what is going on? Usually you retain the momentum of the book. This book provides no momentum. In my opinion, a great book and great writing has you turning those pages faster and faster. You can't turn the pages fast enough. This book, these pages may as well have been made out of lead. They could not have been heavier pages to turn. They're just, I was not excited to get to the next page.
I felt that energy too. And then I started being like, but this is a classic. You've read James Joyce before, you like him. So I started trying to appreciate things. So like I would dog-ear pages where there were beautiful sentences or cool.
Oh yeah, there were
cool
some good lines in there.
There
were some good lines.
There's great shit in there.
Oh, I mean, there's some classic lines like God is a shout in the street. There's some really beautiful, beautiful writing in this.
It actually reminded me of this book that I've had a very hard time finishing and I have never finished, which is Cormac McCarthy's Suttree. I cannot finish that fucking book. And
That's one of my favorite novels of all time.
I happened to look it up, and it's compared to this book.
Well, here's the thing, and we're going to actually bring in an expert to talk to us a little bit about this soon.
James Joyce?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
By expert, I mean a friend of mine who I think read it once. But what I started to realize as I got further and further into the book, and this is just my amateur appraisal, it felt like we're just changing the station on a TV or a radio of 1930s Ireland. So like you get to a chapter and the characters from before are abandoned and it's a whole new thing. And there was one chapter, I don't know if you got there, Ben, where it's like it's basically a funeral cart. It's like a horse-drawn carriage carrying a body, and it's the undertakers, and they're going through rural Ireland, and they're just kind of like commenting on everything they see. That was the first chapter that I was like, oh, this got me. This is very cool. And they like, people are herding cattle and it walks by and they comment on this and they comment on that. Then you learn that the corpse in there killed himself and they're talking about the morality of that and whether or not. And I was just like, okay, now we're doing undertakers. And then the next chapter was like newspaper men, and it's headline, and it's the editors and it's the typesetters talking about their modern day stupid drama in the headlines, but also their petty stuff between each other. And I was like, oh, now it's getting interesting. It still got very dense. It still was hard to read with too many references to different languages and ancient texts that I don't understand.
Yep.
But I was like, I see what's going on here. It felt like you're just in a busy Irish street and different snapshots of life are just walking by you.
I think the characters come back, too, because I was skipping through the book, reading segments.
They do come back.
They do.
Yeah,
and it's supposed to all take place in the middle of just one day. It's just a day.
Oh, wow.
I think what often happens with a lot of novels, and especially classics, is this style of writing is not that jarring or unique to us anymore, especially when novels now, I mean, you can find all manner
Yeah,
of...
I adapted to that dialogue convention pretty fast. It was not...
I think we look and we're like, why was this? This book was so controversial for the time. I mean, there were obscenity hearings about it, and it was banned by obscenity laws. Like,
you have to consider context for sure. And in the 30s, this was mind blowing. And there's lots of anti-religious stuff, and
I think it's exactly 100 years old, right?
Well, it was originally published in its entirety in February 2nd, 1922. So it's almost exactly 100 years that it was since it was first published.
It's funny you mention 100 years. I just saw that Jack Kerouac turned 100. He would have been 100 the other day. And that's what got me thinking about, because On the Road, everybody's like, oh, it's such a great book. And you read it as an 18-year-old and your mind's blown. You read it again as a 40-year-old and you're like, I've seen this a million times. But it wasn't, it was new then. It was groundbreaking then. So you have to take that into consideration. I think Ulysses really blew some fucking hair back when it came out.
Yeah, and what it did was with mine was I got about 10 pages every night before I did that thing where your book is being held up and you drop it on your face because you've fallen asleep in the middle of it. I'll just be like, funk, and I'm like, nah, I'm asleep.
Now, when you're asleep, you say, I'm asleep. That's it.
Yes, he likes to confirm it.
That's your tell.
Because he's one of those.
No, I wake up saying I'm asleep.
Half-lidded when he sleeps.
I'm asleep.
Okay, because we've shared a lot of hotel rooms, and I guess I've passed out first because I've never seen you do that. Maybe you've never been asleep around.
I'm a different kind of guy when I sleep. And I like to make note of every part of the process. Okay.
Now I'm asleep.
That's actually like pages 300 through 450 of Ulysses. Is just a guy noting the process of him sleeping.
Yeah,
betwixt these sheets, my toes tingling. Yeah, there were little bits of that in there, but yeah, as an engaging novel, it absolutely failed on my part.
Oh, here's the line that I dog-eared. Swill till 11, Irish Nights Entertainment.
Yeah, that's great.
That's fucking great. Swill till 11, Irish Nights Entertainment.
There were a lot of very, very great moments. It was when you would be going along, understanding what's happening, and then it would just trail into like this fucking stream of conscious shit that I was like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? I thought I skipped ahead somehow.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, I think I went one page too far, and then I'd go back and be like, nope, I'm in the right place. Right. As an amateur writer myself, I've written things with an outline, and I've written things without an outline, and this book definitely seems like when you write without an outline, where it's just like, wherever I want to go is where I'm going to go.
I guarantee you it all comes back in a highly technical, brilliant way. I'm curious to see what my buddy has to say about it. Here's the thing, dudes. I'm 247 in. I don't know if I'll ever be closer. I'm going for it. I may not do this. I'm not doing it in an episode, but I just want to fucking say I've read Ulysses.
Think of the party cachet.
I know. I'm bombing at social events lately, and I think if I come
did you say Ulysses? No, sorry, I didn't.
I don't know if it's COVID. I'm out of practice. I don't know. I got an ace in my pocket. Like, I read and didn't understand Ulysses for a challenge.
Yeah,
think about that. Think about the people gathering around me and saying, "Well, opine, young man, opine." And I will.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's going to be hard for you to remain faithful to your wife with all of the ladies who are going to be chucking themselves.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, and Adam says,
explain the metaphor to me once more.
I've read Ulysses. Rejoice. That's spelled Joyce for everybody.
Harumph, and Raha. Gather, friends.
Yes,
oh my God.
For I have choked down 700 pages of literary Weetabix. Like eating a dry Weetabix. Wait,
yeah, you called it.
I'm going to try to finish it.
You
I'm going
are.
to try to finish. Yeah.
Is this like the blood challenge? Have you given blood, Ben? Where are we at on that? Where are we at on your blood?
I'm still digging around to find out about calm first.
I'm not going to attempt it because a Grolix Saves the World secret. If you want to better yourself and the world around you, don't do shit you fucking hate. I'm not going to finish this book. I'm going to read something else.
You got the thumbs up from dipshit Ron. Hey, there you go.
Listen.
18 pages, old 18 pages Ron.
it.
I'm going to finish it, Andrew, because I think I am starting to enjoy this. And I've known for so long I'm so smarter than you and Ben, and it's nice that I get challenges like this to just affirm it. To just affirm it. And it's sad to watch you fucking idiots plod through literary territory you barely understand. Even though
Adam,
you threw this...
You were just saying that you understood very little of the 250 pages.
But I understand the social cachet.
He understands bragging that he finished it.
Exactly.
What was that line you were going to read? Read us it.
This guy's walking into a restaurant. This is just great writing. His heart astir, he pushed in the door of the Burton restaurant. Stink gripped his trembling breath. Pungent meat juice, slop of greens. See the animals feed. Men. Like, that's just so damn.
That's a
so
great
damning.
fucking line. And that's why I'm saying this is filled with. I mean,
we're
when
giving people so many good lines. They're going to be like, "All right, I'll go check out this book." It's not that many good lines. You're getting a great line about every 4 to 8 pages.
Come on, listen. If I'm in the woods, I'm starving. I'm going to dig through some bear shit to find a few berries, and I feel like that's what this is. But I really like when I laughed out loud and was like, "That's a great line." When I read that God is a shout in the street. I think that's such a fucking...
We're gonna catch that in a Spells lyric. Stay tuned, everybody.
Why don't you fuck off, Andrew? No. Hold on a second. You can't come at me, poke the badger about my writing and spells. Yeah, I may include it, but it makes me appear learned. And why, Adam? Why come you can use it? You drop Ulysses.
Why come you use book, Adam? Why come you say book make good?
All right, fellas. Well, we could go on and on about this forever ignorantly. However, I thought it might help the conversation to bring in someone who knows a bit more about this, an expert. And by expert, it's the Grolix Saves the World definition of expert, which means he knows a guy who's friends with a guy who finished Ulysses once 15 years ago.
Okay.
So
my God.
He feels
what?
qualified.
This guy is on the edge. Yeah.
No, this is my, I'm welcoming to the podcast my friend Chad Dean. Hello, Chad. Thank you for joining us.
Chad.
Thank you for having me.
Chad and I are college buddies, and we both, Chad's a writer. He just published a book. And we used to talk about literature at length, and I just remember you being a huge James Joyce fan and a huge Ulysses fan. And if I remember correctly, you took an entire course on Ulysses in college?
A couple of them, and one in Ireland. You know, I did one Bloomsday in Ireland.
Oh, Chad. Is he coming in swinging his dick around already?
In the grand Leopold Bloom fashion, I'm swinging my dick around on the beach.
I love it.
I don't know if you got to that chapter, but
I missed it.
You missed public masturbation. You're missing a large part of the novel.
Let me tell you the ignorant level we're coming in at, which I think I briefed you to. Ben issued a challenge, finish Ulysses in 1 week. That's insane.
I love it, though. I love a spectacularly bad idea.
Yeah. So Andrew read it on Kindle. He's not sure about page count. We're thinking 50, 60 pages. Ben read about 80. I'm at 247, and I'm starting to feel it, but I'm not understanding a lot of it, and I wish I was able to take a course on it. So please enlighten us. What the fuck is going on?
So I think one of the things that I dropped in on was someone saying, I like this because it makes me appear learned, which I think is one of the main reasons people still go to this book. And when I was 19, that's why I went to it, because I wanted to walk around and be pretentious in my hometown outside of Baltimore. But maybe similar to all of you, I had that experience where the first 3 chapters of this book, they're probably my least favorite. I mean, you're spending it with Stephen, who is this like pretentious artist who just like doesn't like that his friends are mean to him because he's so smart and they don't recognize it. Which maybe I don't know what writers on this call can identify with that, but a younger Chad, could identify with that.
Oh, so we call that Kate and Hollanding in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, you know,
we
like
call
it's
it.
like the Royal Tenenbaums, you know, like why would you call someone not a genius?
Yeah.
Is like Stephen Dedalus's problem, right? And like,
Yeah.
and those are not my favorite chapters. It's chapter 4 when, and again, I don't have the page count, but it's when, you know, Leopold is in his kitchen and he's like making his organs for breakfast and he's like fucking around with his cat. Oh, sorry if I don't make say it on this, but he's messing around with his cat.
Buddy, swear
Okay,
away.
cool.
Swear
Right,
away.
so I didn't know. So he's fucking around with his cat, right? And like that was the point where I was sort of like, okay, even in like my pretentiousness, I was like, oh, now I'm going to enjoy this. This isn't going to just be a puzzle box that I solve and tell my friends at cocktail parties. Like I really did start to get into that book after you move out of those chapters where you're just with this guy.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? And you know, like, and I'm sure, I don't know how much like background research you did, but
None. This is an ignorant podcast.
so see, I came into it with like, you know, my introduction to this was this like one-off line that I read when I was like 19 in a Baltimore Sun article about how many people consider this the greatest book ever written in the English language. And that was 25 years ago. And that still carries. I mean, people still say that. And so I went out and tried to read
a
it
ton of lists.
and couldn't like, on my own, I never got through the first 3 chapters. I never got through the first chapter for a couple of years, right? It took me forever to realize that he was shaving in a very Catholic way. And that was like the point of the first chapter.
Yeah.
This guy's shaving
there
and being a
was so
jerk.
much shaving in the first chapter.
That's right? Like it's
And
just,
I don't know what a fucking gun rest is. And I'm American.
they're in a tower, right? Yeah, they're in this like weird
Yeah,
Irish
they're in
tower.
a parapet or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, Andrew just took another word I don't know, and tried to help me get my bearings on another word I don't know by using another word I don't know.
I guess I play enough D&D. Parapet was on the list.
Yeah, Ben's walking around stuck in a curtain, and he found his way out, but it was another curtain.
Yeah, there's so many
I think he said
curtains,
sucking
Chad.
a curtain. And I was
Yeah,
like, I
Ben's
could
just
see
in there
Ben
sucking a curtain.
I could see Ben sucking on a curtain.
Just shut up. Just shut up. Chad,
But
I'm
yeah,
smart.
I believe it. I can tell. I can tell you're all. I can tell you're all smart in your own ways. Yeah, there are a lot of.
smart
There's so
in
many
our
kinds
own
of intelligence, and and we can all appreciate like 20 pages of Ulysses. Because I don't. The other line I heard was, you know, like a little bit of berries for a lot of shit, and I don't know that that's untrue. You know, there's a lot of like, if you're not Irish Catholic, involved in the struggle between like Ireland and Britain in like 1915, some of this is just going to go over your head without all the references and
going into Greek and Latin and Italian, and there's a
Gaelic and-
long breakdown of Shakespeare's Hamlet that's so fucking dense.
I was reminded of that chapter, and that actually is one of my favorite chapters, and it's probably the one that I understand the least. And I've had smart people explain it to me, and I'm like, "But wait, what is his theory?" And they're always like, "Well, it's confusing." And I'm like, "Well, can you explain it to me?" And they're like, "It's confusing."
When you have an entire course on this, a college course or a couple, are you going through the Odyssey and looking at the similarities or where they parallel each other? Like, are you doing all of that as well, like a breakdown of the Odyssey as well?
Yeah, and so it's. I was thinking now it's a little easier to read it than when I had to read it 20 years ago in college, because both times that I took formal classes with it, where I had a class that was just dedicated to that, they both assigned the Ulysses annotated, which is longer than Ulysses. And you know what I mean? And you would like sit through it, and it would break down each chapter and like what the color correspondence were. And it would give you like an overview. And then it would be like line by line. Here's what he means here. You know, when he was depicting this, he actually called his friend to see if you could climb over this guardrail in some shit street in Dublin. And, you know, and so like I had, and I think this is important, you know, like I really started to love it when I had other people who not only loved it, but spent like years. And so they could decode some of this stuff for me.
I can relate to that. I mean, in college, one of my favorite things, I took Spanish a lot, Spanish literature. We read Don Quixote over like a 6-week period, a similarly dense book, and an expert took us through it, and I fucking loved it. And like, I that's a very privileged thing to be able to do, but I would love to do what you did with this
Adam.
book.
No,
Ben, yeah.
It's
It
not.
was.
What Winthrop High School, old Mrs. Cook took me on a Spanish journey.
Through a
We watched like a movie. We watched like whatever that movie, that like claymation Battle of the Gods movie for our Greek literature, and that
Oh,
was it
God.
for
Yeah,
my
yeah,
high
yeah.
school. You know,
Yeah.
We watched at Winthrop High School. My teacher was hungover. We watched Short Circuit. And
a classic. You want to talk? Move over, Ulysses. Now we're in my territory. Let's talk about how much Short Circuits is like the Iliad. This is a parallel.
Short Circuit's Indian face. You can't talk about
This
it.
is
It's
a
Indian
Greek
face.
myth come to life. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
having somebody explain it makes it that much more. It's like having a guide through a gallery showing you why impressionist work is important. Why
And their passion for that thing helped get me excited.
yeah.
I want to make this maybe hit for our listeners, though, Chad. So not everyone's going to take a course.
Yep.
I'm 247 in, and I'm starting to enjoy it, even barely understanding a lot of it. But when you came on the call, we were saying, look, we're smart enough to realize these brilliant turns of phrase, these such incredible paragraphs of description.
It's really well written.
We were sharing them to each other because we would find those as like the fucking berry in the shit, as Ben says. To someone who's not going to take a course, who's like been daunted by this book, why should an amateur tackle Ulysses? Why should
All
they
right,
go for it?
I was prepared for this defense. So I think you want to let go of some of those things that you're not getting, and it's okay to not understand. And I think it's okay to go into this knowing that it's a challenging book. And if you don't like a challenge, you should not read it. And I think that's part of the appeal for some people. Some people just like challenging video games and sports, writing complicated things. The language is beautiful at times, but it's not in theme super complicated in a lot of ways. It's a story about a young man who's trying to find his place in the world, kind of juxtaposed with a middle-aged man whose relationship is crumbling. And for me, this is always like, once I really started to like the story and get into the book, it's always been a story about Leopold and Molly, the guy whose wife is having an affair with him, and that's why he can't, having an affair, he can't go home. And so he's like walking around and he's thinking his watch stopped at the exact time that they had an affair. And so, those two of like this, this very like highfalutin guy who's trying to figure out where he is in the literary world. And he's Stephen, walking around thinking about himself all the time, juxtaposed with this like very real life situation of, a crumbling marriage with a person. And they're both, it's made clear at different times that they still care for each other very much. Where it's not exactly like a Christopher Nolan thing where it's like very complicated and the explanation is very complicated and the themes, reality and existence. I think the themes of this can be very simple, and you're looking at like the life of a man at 20 and the life of a man at 40, and and how they're compatible and how they're not. And I think those are universal themes for a certain kind of person.
Damn, dude. I'm sold. That's a very good description.
Did I do okay?
That's perfect.
I'm trying to get marketing job with the Ulysses estate.
Well, this is the podcast to launch you. This is the podcast.
I figured they were tuned in.
Yeah. No, I really like, I started going through, and this may be cheating, reading online through websites what each chapter was about.
I think you should. I don't think that's cheating. I think you should.
It became much less daunting of a book. And when you say that it's a very complicated text about very simple themes, that like, I don't think anybody can relate to, separating from somebody that they love still. And
Ben's dragging a drama through the pod. It's
No,
been
but I
going
mean,
on for
it's
about 15
I don't think
episodes.
those topics hit home very much. But if you guys will just give me a minute.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be laughing now or not.
We
This is
call
my
it-
first
No,
time.
we all
always
laugh at
laugh.
my pain. Yeah, always laugh at my pain.
We call it Ben's personal Ulysses anyway, so.
That I mean, it's a book about the the internal journey that we go on, right, and how heroic that is.
Man, I love that.
Yeah, the way you describe it, I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I should get back into it. Maybe I should. So you did a good job.
I will say, though, that when I got the invitation, I read it wrong, and I thought it said discuss. And then in the 3 minutes that I wrote, it took me to write back, I realized I was supposed to defend. Because I thought I was going to come on and I was going to get to trash it. And then I spent my 2 days
this is
Sorry.
America, Chad. That's
building
a
my
discussion.
defense.
Yeah.
And now I'm building, but now, you guys have reignited my love. Like thinking about how I would defend this, I thought, oh no, I do love this book. And
Nice.
all my shit is in storage, but I'm digging it out. I meant to, I even have an Irish sweater that I was going to dig out and wear for you guys. But
Ulysses aside, we actually brought you on here to hear about how Adam was in college. Give us some tidbits of a young Adam. We heard he was a real Hellcat. No, I'm just kidding.
Adam, so Adam went to my wife's college. I was not smart enough to go there. I just kind of hung around.
Okay.
And like got
Where
the,
did
got
you
the,
go to school?
Yeah, you're
I
just
went
taking
to-
Ulysses classes in Hartford.
I know. I went to my my Division I school where like the musicians go. I was really slumming it at UHA. But yeah, no. I mean, I always knew Adam is like a hilarious writer. I mean, I every now and then we move and we still find the paper that he made at college.
He made paper? Adam, you were into making paper?
Stop.
He-
See,
yeah, what did
they
he- what do you-
won't allow compliments, Chad. This is not.
No,
I appreciate
well,
it. But
here's the problem.
They're so
He
threatened.
got in a lot of trouble. I remember there were some controversies. You know, he was just the right kind of bad guy.
Yes.
How's
Yeah,
that?
that's
Man,
what we
that's my new
heard.
bio.
Driving drunk.
Just the right kind of bad guy. I love
Nothing.
that.
No canceling. You know, he pushed all the right edges.
Did he ever like rub people the wrong way? Was he super annoying? Like, what were the things that did he?
You know, I'll be totally honest with you. Like, I was just there trying to not like get kicked out of the like Wesleyan was a college that I had never seen before in my life. You know, I'd never, and then like the way people talked about like big issues and like they had these important literary discussions. So I was trying to be the person who wasn't annoying anyone and just like not getting kicked out. And they figured out that I went to a slightly less prestigious university. I remember Adam was very popular. Everybody loved him. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Oh, well, fuck up.
Well, I hope you've spent that money
Thanks
that
a
he's
lot.
wiring you. Jesus.
You said you're bad at this, but I want you to give a chance. Please plug your book to our listeners. Chad just wrote a novel.
Okay. It's a short novel about a man who accidentally spends 13 years inside a Baltimore row house, and he leaves the summer of the Freddie Gray riots to resolve a minor banking issue. So, you know,
What's it called?
What's it called?
That would be helpful, right? It's called This City Breathing.
Okay.
It's out on TheraPress, and you can get it. You know, it'll be coming to bookstores soon. You can get it on Amazon, and you can get it on TheraBooks.
Nice.
Oh man, I can't fucking wait to read it. I want to give Chad the chance to answer this question. Do you think reading James Joyce's Ulysses or just novels that are considered classics makes the world a better place?
Yeah. I think, I mean, I think you have to be careful, right? I spent a lot of time in college reading Ulysses, and then I graduated college and thought, no, I want to go my own route and I want to read something else. And so I started reading Dostoevsky, and I read like all these Dostoevskys. And then I found out after I read like, I don't even know, 4 of these 500-page novels that he was just like a raging asshole, like anti-Semitic asshole. And so I don't know that I was made a better person by reading those 1,000 pages of classics. You know, I do think the world is made better when people try difficult things that are rewarding. I really believe that. It's something I teach my 14-year-old a lot. Sometimes we do things because they're difficult. And so I think that reading a book like this will make you a better person in an optimal situation. You know, I'm always a big believer in taking on something difficult. When Adam told me y'all were doing this, I thought it was an amazing idea.
Yeah, I mean, it is dense, but to people out there, like knowing this and knowing what it's about and the themes, and that there are texts specifically written to give you an idea of what is going on in each episode or in each quote unquote chapter. It
Plus,
does
Chad
make it much more palatable.
has generously agreed. Any listener that reaches out, Chad will hold
personal
your hand
number.
through the book.
I will.
Yeah,
Send
Zoom
me
with you
send
every
me an
day.
email. You free copy of This City Breathing included with every interesting question.
Every interesting question.
Nice.
Chad, thanks, dude. I really appreciate it. You nailed
Yeah,
it.
thank you so much.
And,
Have me back for Finnegan's Wake.
Oh, dude, that's a good
all right,
idea.
buddy. Well, it's
actually.
nice to see you.
Nice seeing you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Chad.
Yeah, take care.
Well, that was my buddy Chad Dean. What a good guy. I'm so glad he came on to talk about Ulysses.
the
That
best.
helped a lot.
The way he described even just that first chapter about the Catholic shaving in a very Catholic way. I find that with a fair amount of novels. I always assume that, listen, the setting of the table is the most boring part of the meal, but it's a necessary part of the meal. You have to know.
Not if you put on some music, maybe some sexy
I don't
lingerie,
know.
dance around a little bit.
No, but listen, I was just making.
Adam,
you
you've
know
got
what I
two
mean?
sons. How are you?
Are
What's
you
They
putting
think I'm
sexy
cool.
You putting like a Genuine's pony on while you're setting the
Yeah, and I have a
table?
thong and the curtains are open.
One of those.
I'm in a thong and the curtains are open. That was James Joycean. Men.
Yeah, the James Joyce.
Let's rename Boy Crazy Men.
This was a great challenge because
However, you failed it. I failed it. Andrew failed it. Andrew failed it the most. So what the
Yes.
fuck is the punishment?
Andrew will be getting a copy as well as Ron, Captain Ron. Captain Ron is going to be getting a copy of the lovely novel New Moon.
Twilight New Moon.
Well, don't hold your breath for my book report. Oh my God.
Okay.
You're going to have so much
If you've
fun.
read Ulysses, if you're trying to read Ulysses, holler at us. We want to hear about it. I'm going to keep going. I think Ben's going to keep going. I think Andrew and Ron are definitely going to stop.
And if you complete the Ulysses challenge, if you're capable of doing the Ulysses challenge
In 1 week.
in 1 week, please let us know. We will shout you out. We need some sort of proof. You have to show us date and time. But
Show us your tired, haggard face.
yes. But we will certainly send you all the tidings of good fortune. I don't know if that's how
I liked
the
it.
Irish.
I liked it. It was.
It really
the
works for like
tidings.
soap and Lucky Charms. I think.
Yes,
I think you were there.
Fine Kerrygold cheeses.
All right, let's take a break. Let's listen to some stand-up comedy from our live show at the Bug Theater. This comic, Ben, I got to tell you, probably my favorite comic. Straight up my favorite comic.
Okay.
And I remember when they were on the show, we're like, how did we get this comic?
Aren't picking up people out there.
How could we, a little podunk Denver piece of shit show,
He's gonna
pull in a
introduce himself.
fucking stud like this?
He's
who's a
gonna introduce a
wordsmith,
clip from
who's
himself,
adventurous, who's daring in subject matter and style.
Definitely going
And-
to introduce himself.
I happen to know this isn't where the joke landed. It's not the final product. It's an early version of it. And then you can hear the final version of it on his album, Hot Takes. However, this artist is also brave and not afraid to show the process.
No one's ever
And
called you an artist.
How cool to open up a window into the art form. Not a lot of people do that. Anyway, enjoy this clip from Adam Caton Holland. And
See, I
when
told you.
we come back, we will tease next episode's challenge. This guy going places. I did shows in Indiana recently, and the comic that opened for me, she drove me to the airport after the shows, and we passed through a town called Martinsville, Indiana, and she explained to me that there's a big Klan presence in that city, big Ku Klux Klan presence in that city. I said, yeah, that makes sense. Looking out the window, everyone looks really fucking stupid. She said it's awful. It's really big, and the worst part is that they target kids. They try to get the kids early. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, they will put their literature in Ziploc bags and then attach those bags to street signs and stoplights near playgrounds to try to get kids to find the hateful literature and read it. And I was like, that is fucking awful. She goes, it's even worse. They put candy in the bags to entice the children to that shit. So I asked the only question that I could think of in the moment, which was, what type of candy? And she said, Werther's Originals. Which I think we can all agree. If one candy was to be the Ku Klux Klan of candies, it would be 100% be Werther's Originals. Werther's Originals. The racist little hard candy secret handed from grandfather to grandson. Werther's Originals. The candy invented in a town called Werther, Germany by a man named Hans in the year 1909. What happened in 1909? Oh, I don't know, let me think. Oh, that's just the year that Hitler got rejected from art school. Illuminati, lizard people, Denver International Airport. This thing goes all the way to the fucking top. Ooh, what an episode, Ben. What an episode.
That one
really
backfired in my face. I am so
sure did.
sorry about that one.
When you swing big, Ben, and that's what I'm proud.
Well,
I'm proud of you
thanks.
for.
I always say, well, walk small and carry a big bat. Isn't that
Right.
what they say? They say something
You
like
do. It's
that.
what you always say.
Yeah.
You always do say that.
Walk small and carry a big bat, and I stutter my way through it. But for a
Take
fact.
4 and walk to first base. Take 4 and walk to
That's
first
what
base.
they say. Yep. Well, a huge thanks to Adam's college buddy, Chad Dean, although he did not bring us any embarrassing college stories other than the fact that we knew Adam was.
Sorry, I was a bad A. That's how real badasses say it. They're afraid to say
baddie.
ass. Sorry, I was such a bad A.
Yeah, but you should go, if you all get a chance, go pick up his book, This City Breathing. It's available wherever you buy your books. You can get it online. We're looking at it right now on Barnes & Noble's page. So, check it out. Chad Dean, This City Breathing. You rule, dude. Thanks for doing
Hey,
it.
Ben, I want to give a shout out from the last episode. We donated blood. People are donating blood. People are tagging us online. They were inspired to donate blood from the Grolic Saves the World. I mean, how much? That's just us putting out tangible fucking good into the planet.
I love it.
I'm so proud of us.
I love it.
I
saw someone said they donated platelets. So we'll be shouting those people out, but keep doing it over the next month if you can, and hitting us up on Twitter to let us know. We love it. Adam, you got some plugs? You got plugs, Adam?
Ben, I am so motherfucking glad you asked.
Oh,
Tomorrow, you're
shit.
listening to this day of because that's how ravenous a fan you are. It's out. It's in your earbuds. Tomorrow, Wednesday, March 23rd, I'm headlining the Downtown Comedy Works. Now, Ben, you've heard of this club.
It's the flagship.
It's the flag. I'm not out in the burbs. PF Changing it.
No.
I'm downtown, which is 5
Changing
blocks
it.
from a different PF
Changing
Chang's.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Downtown Comedy Works. Go to comedyworks.com. I'll be headlining. It's going to be a fun show.
Also, in just a few days, the Grolics live show returns to the Bug Theater March 26th. That's Saturday. And what a bing banger of a lineup. I mean, this one is a real bing banger.
Sure, dude.
We got BK Sherrod.
Yep. Kelsey Rosen.
We have John Michael Bond.
Stopping in from LA. He's got 3 names. You know I respect that.
Yeah, and then, of course, closing it out, we got Anthony DeVito. Plus, We Grolics 3 coming at you with brand new material. You do not want to miss this. You can get your tickets now by going to thegrolics.com. That's GRAWLIX. And that link will be in the show notes from this show. So please come and check it out. Join us.
While you're checking stuff out, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Grolics Saves. I'm not spelling a Grolics again. You're fucking smart. You know how to do it. Find us. And I want to thank all the people that have found us recently. Listen, we're rising in the Patreon numbers. Boy Crazy is reeling these fish in. They're hungry for it.
People love hearing heated talk about a bunch of baddie boys. Am I right? And
You're
we've been
not wrong.
nailing it. And that last one, that got heated. But we got another one that's going to get even more heated, I think. It's going to get hot.
Find us on Patreon. Get the gold in the form of Boy Crazy. And thank you to all that joined us recently. As another perk of Patreon, if it's your birthday month, we give you a shout out, right, Ben? It's just something we do as kind dudes.
And I have an idea on this one, Adam.
I'm thrilled because I got nothing.
Oh,
Just
I do.
Old episodes of DuckTales in my head right now.
Oh, well, I love this. I want to guess this person, last time they went fishing, what was the fish they caught? What was the fish they caught that they last...
The last time.
The last time. Not
Okay.
So the last time they went fishing, what...
Most recently caught fish.
Fish, exactly. March 6th, Low Pan, okay, supporter of ours, been a supporter for a bit. On March 6th, thank you so much. Happy birthday. But you went fishing down at the Wagon Pond, and Adam, what was that fish that Lo brought up?
What I heard is they reeled in an 85-pound sturgeon.
Wow, fresh water.
And it was a fucking fight. A freshwater sturge. That's rare.
Yeah, you don't see that a lot. No.
The game warden, they wanted to take it away, do tests on it. Why is this sturgeon in this lake?
Yep.
Lopan said, fuck you. I'm eating this thing with the boys.
Yep.
Took it home, served it up.
Sturgeon tacos, fresh cabbage. Didn't do a lot, too much with it.
When you got a fish that fresh, that big, what are you going to fucking dress it up? No, enjoy the fish.
Yeah.
And so Lopan knew that, and that's what they did.
Yeah, great. Congratulations, Lopan.
Now, this next one is celebrating a March 21st birthday, Ben, and that's Nick Diamond.
Oh, wow.
And Nick, as you know, gets out there. He's out there in deep sea fishing. So what do you think Nick picked up last time he was reeling them in?
Well, I know what Nick picked out. It was a 3-inch white perch, and that's all he got that day.
Damn.
But, you know, he's been fishing in a drainage basin lately.
Okay.
And we keep telling him to not eat the stuff that comes out of there. But, you know, he works at the cell phone repair place right next to it. So,
the cracked screen and yeah.
He replaces cracked screen. So I think that this just gives him some peace on a lunch break to just go out and drop the line into this drainage canal.
Sure,
But
sure.
I don't like the fish he's pulling out. He'll eat it. He cooks it in the microwave. Just this tiny little, it's a bony fish too, a white perch.
Yeah, well, Nick, happy birthday, bud. Maybe treat yourself to like McDonald's filet of fish, something a little bit better for you than what you've been reeling in lately.
Yeah, your color is odd.
Be
It
kinder
looks
to yourself
pale.
in the coming year.
Yeah.
Be kinder to yourself.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't already, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Please follow us. Tell people to follow us. It is just at Grawlix Comedy. And we love when you reach out to us. Take the Ulysses Challenge. 7 days. Try to read James Joyce's Ulysses. Tell us how far you got in it. We love when you reach out and tell us your stories. And please keep reaching out about you donating blood. It means so much. You can't do this. You can do it too much, but you can't do it enough, if that makes sense, Adam.
It doesn't, but I want to thank our producer, Dublin typesetter Ron Doyle. Couldn't do any of this without you.
What a beautiful breed of bitch he is. And
A loyal bitch.
A loyal bitch, and a bitch that sheds a bit too much.
Oh, you get a Dublin typesetter in your house.
Yeah.
Get the vacuum out.
Yeah,
They're shedding.
you're going to want to. Not good with kids either. Not too good
a
with
biter.
kids. Yeah,
a biter with every kid.
Goes for the face. Thanks to Mike Anderson for helping us record at the live show. The recordings are always amazing. That is Mike Henderson. You kick butt. We can't do it without you.
And I have it on good authority. Pages 400 through 500 of Ulysses are about Mike Henderson.
Are they really?
I mean, I don't know myself. I haven't gotten there, but I'm looking forward to it.
I think so. It is. I trust your instincts on this one.
Thank you. I'm very literary.
As always, our theme music is brought to you by the Liffey boat captain, Charlie Continental. You know, he's been sailing the Liffey for many a year. Yeah,
Just back and forth.
back and forth. Ferrying a maiden back and forth across the Liffey. What are we going to do? What is next
I don't know.
episode's
Next
challenge?
episode, Andrew said he had an idea, and you've probably noticed Andrew isn't here in the credits. He has a day job now, and that's why the credits are funny, and it's just me and Ben being allowed to actually do what we do without somebody getting in the fucking way. But Andrew said he's got a challenge, which means it's going to be dog shit, Ben.
Yeah, it is going to be.
It means
dog
it's going to
shit.
be a dog shit challenge.
I hope.
However,
boy, I hope we're warming up the television that he keeps in his garage. You know, like remember, my God, just it's probably going to be something.
But here's the
sad.
thing: even in a dog shit challenge, Ben and I will save it through riffs, while Andrew tries to, cobble together a coherent narrative for the episode. So come tune in for the riffs.
Yeah,
and we'll figure out whatever dog shit Andrew's doing.
Andrew posted up in the paint beneath the net as Adam and I dual dunk on him multiple times.
And he hasn't learned to jump to try to defend it either.
No.
So our knees hit him in the face, just batter him in the face under the rim.
I've been not
as we're
even
dunking.
putting up a full jump so I can catch him dick first, right in the forehead.
Yeah. Just collapsing into the people in those seats right behind the rim,
What an asshole. Anyway, what a fun day. Play us out, Charlie.
Are there any heroes left at all? A few strong souls that pick us up when we fall down. We looked around for those rare kinds of folks, but the best we did was these dumb jerks that town they just We're getting